Let's welcome in Brett Goode to the conversation this morning. Brett, once again, Fayetteville finds itself on the top of U.S.'s news as the number one city to live in all the Southeastern Conference. And I know with social media and other technology, this message has been spread across further than it would be 10, 20, 30 years ago. But do you think that the continuous rhetoric, the continued message of Fayetteville being a great place to live is getting across to the high school seniors that are thinking about coming to Fayetteville to play sports?
Definitely. I mean, just look at what all of our other programs have done in winning and the recruits that we're getting now. It's just a continual effect that everybody says, it's a great place to live. All of Northwest Arkansas, you look around and, people come in, they're like, oh, wow, let's go there. And then you see Fayetteville's campus, and it's beautiful. And they're doing nothing but improvement, constantly trying to keep up with the times of change, and they're doing a good job with it.
Brett, you're a longtime River Valley resident. Now, you don't live in Fayetteville, but you do live in Northwest Arkansas. What are some of the more attractable things about Fayetteville, not necessarily just from a adolescent, teenager, high school recruit standpoint, but just for families that might be looking to move to Northwest Arkansas?
Well, one, you have Arkansas, so it's kind of the South, and you have that friendly atmosphere. Everywhere you go, people are nice to you. They're cordial, and then there's so much to do. You can go, whether it be biking or going, getting on the water in a canoe or kayak and going down the river, or you want to see a good sporting event at a good venue. You obviously can go to U of A. So there's all kinds of stuff. And you move up and you get the AMP if you want to go to a concert, and then obviously Dixon Street. We all know they have tons of concerts, and I've actually heard that Dixon Street, is kind of getting up there in crowd population, even there in the summer now, the school's not even involved right now. So it's just the atmosphere is just kind of growing, and people are enjoying outside activities and just getting out and about. And I think a lot of that was, due to last year, people were tired of sitting around, and now they're just really just spreading their wings and kind of just doing everything they can.
And I think this is great when you're a Tyson or a JB Hunt or a Walmart trying to recruit someone to come work for your company. And this is a Fayetteville award, but this is really a regional award. I mean, I think Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, Lowell, Johnson, just keep Elkins, keep going down. Everyone should share in the credit of this placement on this list in Benton and Washington counties and in the surrounding areas. But I don't know, from a football standpoint, which is what we're talking about here. If you're a defensive tackle, is this going to be, and I think absolutely Sam Pittman should use it, but you're looking at facilities and weight rooms and position coaches and offensive schemes and defensive schemes and, things of that nature a lot more than, what's the biking trail system look like? This is all great and fine, but I don't know how much this, it's, I think, secondary when it comes to recruiting an athlete.
It is, and now, and you've also told them now the money, how much money can you pay me or what can you give me? But, the campus, the accessibility, being able to get around campus, I know a lot of moms and dads are looking at that, the kids make sure they're going to class, and you're looking at the dorms. But at the end of the day, it's about football. It's your sport. It could be about basketball, but on the football side, it is. It's about the coaches. It's how you're going to develop me. Has the strength program going to develop me, and the nutritional program? Are we going to eat good and be able to actually grow and mature, as an athlete, student athlete that comes in at 18, and, you're going to make a lot of changes until you're 21 through that process. So they're definitely looking into all that, and that's, I think we're on the right track to do that.
Let's just say this doesn't hurt anything at all. And if you're able at 18 years old to see life beyond college, and you actually are one of these that believe you may not play in the NFL, and then you're not going to be in the Hall of Fame, and you're not going to be the next Tom Brady, then you can realize, hey, there could be a future in Northwest Arkansas that could be very prosperous for me if I have a good college career. And that is hard for any 18-year-old to think 10 years down the road. And I know I didn't have my head on that straight at 18.
And that's true. And even when I was in the NFL, we always called it not for long. And you don't want to hear about the time when you're going to actually be out of the league. But you're absolutely right. You come in here, you've got multiple companies throughout the state, but particularly Northwest Arkansas, and you start, you put on that hog helmet and you wear it proudly, you make a lot of connections. It's its own fraternity, and if you don't kind of screw up and do a whole bunch of dumb stuff, you will have an opportunity to work for one of these companies as you move on, because most people do not go on to professional sports.
Brett Goode with us, Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Brett, August the 5th is when players are going to report to football or to campus for football, and then August the 6th is when it's going to start according to Hog Sports. What do you remember about being a youngster, making your way to campus, and those first initial days of fall ball?
It was exciting. I had to take a couple extra classes just to get into the U of A, so I was kind of panicking and driving up to the admissions office, and it was just a few days before that everything kind of worked out, and you're in a panic excitement because you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's going to happen. It's obviously changed, from high school to college, and so you're just excited. You're walking around and you're kind of just head on a swivel, trying to kind of follow along with what the older guys are doing. You kind of pick up to where everything's going, the facilities where we're going to meet. You basically go in, you start getting, as your first year, you come in, you're getting fitted for, all your equipment, and you're finding out where everything's at. And so it's a wonderful process, checking into the dorm. I mean, it's a really exciting time, and training camp's a lot of fun, as a freshman coming in. And as you get older, you kind of start dreading a little bit of some of the activities. But then at the end of the day, you realize that, you need to do it, and you just kind of go put your head down and go to work.
Brett, what's important for Sam Pittman, Kendall Briles, Barry Odom, for them to establish that day one with this core heading into Pittman's year two?
I think it's just the excitement, it's accountability. You go in and you want that energy in the building. You want, everybody kind of hold each other accountable. The best football teams, they realize everybody just does their job, and they put that mindset in, just do your job, and your buddy can count on you to do their job. And so you don't have to think about a whole lot of things. You just think about what the process is. A lot of times in training camp, you're kind of reinstalling some things. You're kind of, you're easing back into this because you don't want to go out there, day one and get everybody hurt. You've got to ease into this process. We've had kind of the summer off. People are kind of moving around a little bit. They're still working out, but it's a different type of workout. You put these pads on and you kind of get to work. It's a new process, but you protect your buddy. We always used to say you get a guy in an uncompromised position and his feet kind of underneath him. We don't need that extra 2 feet of a pancake block because he's your teammate. We need that teammate later on in the season, and then the teams that are really good, they can make those really big contact hits. They can lock them up, but they can also protect their teammate, not roll them over and try and hurt them.
NFL training camps open up in about a week. Aaron Rodgers still in the headlines when it comes to the NFL. I heard Keyshawn Johnson talking earlier this morning that he thinks this will go down in a manner that essentially Aaron's teammates will come to him and basically beg him into camp and beg him back for the season. You think there's any merit to that thought, that that's how this will go, that Aaron's teammates will bring him back into the locker room and get him back to practice and playing for this 1 year?
I think so. After the match last week, I was like, man, he's gonna be back in training camp to the start. And then you start hearing some of these other reports that he's really kind of digging his heels in, doesn't want to play for Mark Murphy or Brian Gutekunst. So it kind of gets interesting when you start thinking about that. Is he really going to dig into this thing? Obviously, he's had a long career. The older quarterbacks, we talked about this last week. Tom, he didn't go. He needed the rest. I think it's been good. Aaron looks like he's in shape, but you're going to need these reps. And it's not necessarily for him. It's for all the receivers and the running backs to be able to get the reps of the handoffs, the running out of the backfield for the out routes and the tight ends. And they're going to need that communication and that timing. He'll pick it up good, but the receivers really need to pick it up because he throws a different ball than Jordan Love does. Nothing against Jordan Love. Aaron just has a really strong arm. So I think, you're going to have like Devontae, David Bakhtiari, you're going to have a lot of those guys come into him and be like, okay, now it's time to go. We got to get ready for week one and do this thing the right way.
So are they a Super Bowl team in your mind with Aaron Rodgers?
I think with him, you have to, assume that you're going to at least, I don't know if they can get to the
NFC
Super Bowl.
Championship game?
NFC Championship game
Okay.
twice.
Okay. Where are you without him? I'm just trying to get an idea in your mind the fall. If you're an NFC Championship game team with Aaron Rodgers, in your mind, how far do you fall without Aaron Rodgers?
I think you fall to 7 or 8 wins. I mean, I think it drops off drastically. It's just like when Aaron took over for Favre. They went to the NFC Championship game, lost to the Giants. Aaron takes over the next year, we go 6-10. It was a big difference in that year one of Aaron getting, kind of his feet wet and figuring out how everything kind of works. You can go through practices, you can do everything and have the talent, but you still have to you be there. And let's not forget that the league is tough. The NFC North is tough. That everybody's getting better, and so Aaron is a difference maker in that aspect if he can give you those extra wins.
So you could certainly see why the teammates would want to drag him back into that locker room, because for many of those guys, it may be their last chance at a Super Bowl, their last chance to play late into the playoffs. They know that he's the main cog. He's the reason it will or won't happen.
He is, and then you have the other aspect of, well, he makes the offensive line look better. He makes the running backs look better. And not only does, makes them look better and gives them a chance to make the NFC Championship game or, get close to the Super Bowl, but it also may give them a Pro Bowl. It may give them an extra contract, give them a couple of years where they move on because they look better when he's in the backfield. You could even see that when he got hurt and had his collarbone issue, and we struggled throughout the years with bringing in a bunch of quarterbacks. He just makes everybody look better, and when they look better, you're going to get votes to go to the Pro Bowl, which is another accolade to make you more money and play longer in the NFL.
Brett, I got a question that was asked from our buddy Bruce Stan yesterday. He loves hearing about fantasy football and kind of what I'm looking forward to this year with my fantasy team. Thanks to Italy, I had the number one pick in our upcoming fantasy draft coming up next month. Do you have a fantasy, as a former NFL player, I don't know if you ventured into fantasy or not, do you have a fantasy football punishment suggestion for our league this year?
So that's always tough because you say, well, are we going to get close to hurting somebody?
Don't worry about that. It'll be emotional, physical.
House, you eat a certain amount of waffles. You do that, but I think it's got to hurt. I mean, if you're actually going to do it, it's going to mean a lot to you. I think there needs to be a punishment. I think that you guys should come up with some humility. You can't do something where you're going to get arrested, but there's one people I know they pass around a golden toilet. But it's a real golden toilet. It's got to sit in your lawn. So if you have neighbors that wouldn't like that, that could be another punishment. So there's a lot to go down the list, and I always love seeing those at the end of the year.
I like that golden toilet idea, Tommy. Maybe we do that this year.
We got to come up with a golden toilet.
Yeah,
Ruskin and Zach already gave away all the toilets that we had to give away earlier this year.
I don't know where we're going to get that.
Yeah, let's get another toilet. So, anyway, hey, Brett, a lot to get to, and I'm looking forward to SEC Media Days. We'll kick around some of the headlines from there next week with you here on the Morning Rush. Hey, if you're the owner or the person in charge of a business when it comes to employee benefits, whether it's the health insurance plans, the retirement plans, maybe you're looking for a new quote when it comes to the commercial insurance, or you're driving around this morning and you need new auto insurance or homeowners insurance. Brett, today's the day to make the call, 479-651-2292. A lot of people are already looking ahead to 2022 and trying to line up new employee benefits for their company.
That's right. We're doing 2022 renewals right now just for the fact that the bigger companies, because some of these things take some time. Commercial, your property and casualty plus your auto. We've got a lot of things moving in the right direction, and you need to make sure that you're paying the right thing, especially, even on your home, with the cost to build a home these days, you want to make sure that you're going to cover that cost if you happen to lose your house.
Yeah, and we all know the price of lumber and the price of everything has went up in regards to getting, if you had to rebuild your home today, so you want to make sure you have enough coverage. 479-651-2292. That's Brett Goode with Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.